So I speak often on this app about one of the things that I value about this app is that I get to follow people who don't look like me and who have different life experiences in this country, in this culture, in this society than I do. And the things that I get to learn from a lot of people. And I value that immensely. And for me, that's one of the biggest benefits of TikTok to me. And, you know, so I've been on TikTok almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years this month. And, you know, in the best of times, social media can just be a mess. We are obviously not living in the best of times right now in the United States. You know, we've got a president who's just doing absolutely every single thing he can to accelerate into total dominance the white supremacy that's always been here. But he wants to turbocharge it and bring back white male-dominated patriarchy along with it, just totally turbocharge it, while turning us into an authoritarian theocracy. And so issues of race and gender are really at the forefront right now. And you know, especially for people like me who still have a lot of things to learn, just because of how I've grown up and how I've existed in this country for 57 years. And I think the segment of our society that I've learned the most from on this app is Black women. And I used to duet and stitch their videos a lot. Especially when I came across one that I felt had a particularly important message for people like me, for white men and white women. And I've had a couple of pretty negative experiences with that, not because of anything that I've done, but first of all, TikTok is just TikTok. If I duet, and this is a pattern that I've observed over the last 2 or 3 years, it's anecdotal, it's me, but it's a pattern that I have observed relative to TikTok itself. If I duet or stitch a video and the original creator whose video that I'm duetting or stitching is a Black woman, that video on TikTok will get maybe 10% of the normal amount of views that my other videos get. So it's like I do that to highlight something. TikTok just fucking craters it, man. Just craters it. And that's one thing. Another thing is that I've had the very disheartening, embarrassing, and mortifying experience a couple of times on a pretty grand scale of duetting or stitching the video of a Black woman and recommending that my followers go follow that creator and try to learn something from them. And then, you know, a lot of people who have followed me, who look like me, descend into the comments of that creator's videos, you know, pulling a not all men kind of thing. And I'm one of the good ones, you know, announcing repeatedly that this doesn't apply to me. And then it's just like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Are you kidding me? And, you know, one thing that I've just learned in my own life over the years and things that I've gone through that have nothing to do with race or anything, but listening without defensiveness is really challenging for people. And I always encourage people to listen to other creators who don't look like you, and listen without defensiveness to hear the actual point that's being made, or to be able to absorb the actual lesson that's being offered. And yeah. Turns out a lot of white people are really, really bad at that, especially white women. Just my observations from my own personal anecdotal experience. And again, I will say again, if that doesn't apply to you, you don't need to let everybody know that in the comments. However, so I don't do that anymore. And it bums me out, but a lot of times what I do try to do is hear some of those lessons, whether they're big or whether they're small, or whether it's just a tweak to language and understanding the importance of things that I was just unaware of. And I try to pass those on to my followers, and I don't tend to do stitch those videos anymore, because if it's something that I think is important to communicate that I've learned from somebody else, TikTok being TikTok has demonstrated quite clearly and repeatedly to me that it's better for engagement if me as a white man conveys that message or that lesson, because that's TikTok. You know, another creator on this app that I follow and respect, Evan with 2 N's, he starts off most of his TikToks with "TikTok supports white supremacy." And I think that there are tangible, anecdotal examples of that I see, and I'm not the most conscious of those things, but I see it almost every day on this app. And I just saw a video from a black woman who I'm mutuals with, who's like, okay, I woke up to, 500 or 1,000 new followers. I think y'all might want to just go watch some of my content. Make sure you're in the right place, because you may not be. That kind of thing. But I was listening to the Pod Save America guys yesterday, and they were talking about a very detailed breakdown of the election demographics that just came out this week. A report from a company. Their name starts with a C. I can't remember their name. But really, really detailed breakdown of demographics, of who voted how, and how certain demographics have shifted over the last several years. And I had heard several black people over the last year, black women, black men, say, please don't lump us in with that phrase, people of color. We're black. People of color are people of color. We are black. And mainly because that allyship tends to be a one-way street. And which is something that I was not aware of. I used to just say people of color and just lump everybody in with that. Now I know better. And yesterday I was reminded of an example of why. Within this breakdown of demographic voter behavior over the last 8 to 10 years, Latino women have shifted 17 points to the right, and Latino men have shifted 14 points to the right. And both of those demographics voted in the majority for Donald Trump in the 2024 election. Whereas black women, as we know, voted 92% for Kamala Harris. Black men voted 80% for Kamala Harris. But Latinas and Latinos are people of color, but that support and relationship and allyship was not reciprocated in the last election results. And so that was an important lesson that I have learned that I wanted to pass on, with an explanation of why I'm passing it on in this way. So happy Memorial Day, everybody. It's raining here. I hope you guys are having a better day where you're at.